We just wrapped a State of Universal report where we covered some fascinating and possibly important changes coming to the tram tour, caught up on the latest construction progress at Fast and the Furious, while taking a complete tour around the rest of the park. This is our State of Universal Studios report. That's right, we've taken these State of reports to Hollywood. We're at Universal Studios Hollywood. It is a Friday. It is about 1:47. Little later than we typically start shooting here at Universal, but I spent the morning here in the park with GetAwayToday. We were doing a tour of the park, and hey guys, how are you? Thank you guys. The little Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. Had some lunch. Had the 3 broomsticks. We got the feast. We had a good time. So now it's time to get to work. We're going to do our State of Universal report. We're going to go on a complete tour around the park, check out every land and every attraction, give you our thoughts on the crowds and the queues and all the news as usual. Now, under normal conditions, this would be the point in the show right away where I would talk about park accessibility and how easy it is to get into Universal Studios. It's super duper easy. There's no limitations whatsoever because they don't have a reservation calendar, so that part of this show is complete. It really is nice to not have to worry about that. I think about that almost every time we come to Universal. I'm like, I could just roll up. Same thing with Bob's. I could just show up and go enjoy Universal or Knott's Berry Farm and not even trip. So, a win for Universal on that one. So we'll take a quick right turn here at Hollywood and Dine to update you guys first on Waterworld back here. This attraction has been closed for a little while, but it is back open again. Next show is at 3:45. As a matter of fact, there's a show happening right now. They just lit off the first flare. There goes the other one. Oh my God. Gondor calls for aid. So this attraction is back up and running. Good to go. If you ever find yourself looking for something to do at Universal and you have an hour to spare, Waterworld is a great option. That is a fantastic show. Great show. Even if it's about, you know what, I like Waterworld. That's one of those historical flops, financial disasters, but it has held up over time. It's now become a cult classic. But I always loved, that was my comfort movie for a long time. If I was ever I wasn't sure what to watch, what I wanted to, I would drop Waterworld into the DVD player, and that was so good. I love that show. While we're here on, someone told me what this is called, and I already forgot, Main Street. Let's do a quick vibe check here because it looks empty, right? It looks empty here. The vibe check says, hey, it's not so bad, but we're coming at a point in time, it's not like Disneyland, where Main Street is always busy. It's definitely busier here on this street in the mornings and in the late evening. People are coming and going, but if they're not coming or going, they're not on this street. It's not the kind of street where people just hang out. They're usually always on their way somewhere. So even though it looks kind of light right now, I can assure you, the folks are here. It's going to be busy today, I believe. Probably saw Dracula in that little B-roll segment. I had a conversation with Dracula. He asked me how often I come down here. I said, I'm actually here quite a bit, at least lately. And he's like, why haven't I had a chance to kill you yet? I feel like he knows I'm gonna see that Dracula again. But by the way, check this out. He's coming for me. The Bride of Frankenstein and Frank. Oh my God! Look out! Oh my God! You guys are serious. Am I gonna get a hug? Oh, I'm getting a hug from Frankenstein. That was super sweet. Thank you. You're not so bad. You're nice, right?
Nice.
Yes. Nice? Nice?
Nice.
Yeah, okay. Good.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, all nice. All nice. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Absolutely my favorite walk-around characters here at Universal are Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein. That's one of the things that I'm most excited about for Epic Universe, is seeing the Dark Universe someday when I get there. I really want to see what they can do with a classic Monsters themed land. Oh, they've got the bunny rabbit from Secret Life of Pets here. Do you guys see that? And the migration duck. I don't know what his name is. But that voice you hear.
Is it? Oh, butterbeer. I can't drink beer. I like butter though. Oh, cheese.
All right. Wait, he's still going.
Oh, you're taking a video, aren't you?
It's a video, yeah.
I feel like a phone now. You just let me stand here and take. It's all good. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing great, thank you.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
It's so.
Looking forward to today.
I don't know. I just got here.
Oh, is it your first time in New York City?
No.
Oh, for sure. Well, welcome back. You know, we changed the name. It's no longer the Big Apple. We're calling it the Big Carrot. I made an executive decision. I'm actually running for mayor soon. Mayor Captain Snowball. So I hope I can count on your vote.
You got it. You can count on me.
Yeah, I like you, man.
Yeah.
You got a cool energy about you. You feel like brave. I don't know what it is. Something about you's giving off like lion vibes.
A lion?
Lion, like fire.
I'll take it. Thank you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I can tell you got a hero inside of you.
All right. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Oh yeah, most def.
All right. See ya.
Oh, have a good one, bro. Have a good one. Cheese.
I mean, eventually we're going to start a State of Universe report. I'm just vlogging right now, it seems like. But we have found ourselves over here at the Secret Life of Pets attraction. Let's check it. Posted wait time is 40 minutes. We can't really evaluate the queue because you can't go in there. You can't see the queue. The queue is somewhere in there, but at least it's not, I mean, they're prepared for a bunch of people and all these switchbacks out here, but no queue out here. So that's good. 40 minutes isn't bad for Secret Life of Pets. Not bad at all. Meanwhile, Minion Mayhem, 10 minutes. I mean, it's 2:05. I've only got about 3.5 hours left of daylight. And it's been a minute. I've only been on this attraction once. I'd like to see what a 10-minute queue looks like. Let's go find out. Let's find out what 10 minutes at Minions Mayhem looks like. This queue is pretty dreadful, though. You know, funny story. One time I got into this queue by accident. I thought I was getting into the Secret Life of Pets queue. I had no idea where the queue was. And I got into this queue, and I waited in here for like 20 minutes before I figured it out.
No.
And that's Minions Mayhem, and this is Super Silly Funland, a tiny little fun land. If you're tiny. No adults allowed, basically, around here. So we'll exit here. Not much to review or talk about at Silly Funland, but we are going to make a left out this exit and check in on construction of the Fast and Furious coaster. Let's just get right started on that giant crane lifting something. I see that, I get excited. We're just going to put that right up front. Heading up the escalator from the lower lot, and I happen to see that's a foundation drill right there, and they're drilling foundation as we speak. I happen to catch it at the right moment. You can see it spinning, rotating, digging. As you get through the tree, come out the other side. Here it comes. Yeah, that's a whole bunch of dirt. There we go. That was the coolest shot of the day right there. We're going to open with that shot. Foundation drill right there. So what's going to happen in that section is they're going to put a foundation element at that spot. Some very heavy duty steel. And then eventually, I'm taking a shot at this, they're going to put some steel in that hole, and then they're going to pour concrete around it. And I think there's even rigs that do all of that in one step, but that's not what's happening here. But yeah, you're going to see steel going there, so that's going to be probably a support of some kind. And then we'll return to where everybody hangs out. Guys, people hang out at this spot all day long, the Super Silly Fun Land viewing area. This is where we all watched Nintendo World get built, and now we're watching the Fast and Furious coaster get built. And there it is again. Look at that thing. That is the biggest crane I've ever seen, and I caught it because it's hard to see against the sky, but it's moving into place. It's going to be picking something up. This is where things get a little perilous for me because you can't, it was actually behind the building. It's not picking something up within the field of view of the camera. So I'm very nervous, delicately putting the camera out over the ledge here, lest I fall to my death. But I couldn't see what they're picking up yet. So we'll come back to that. It's going to take a minute for that crane to pick up what it's picking up. So we'll catch this little mini excavator just moving dirt. We got some dirt here. And we'll put that dirt right over here. Let's get back to the crane. And there we go. We've got these two giant, which I assume to be concrete blocks. They're delivering those somewhere near the bottom of that hill, which is a very steep hill. It doesn't really, you can't tell from this footage, but it's a very steep hill relative to where the where the loading area is, or the launch area, the main construction site. And I asked around on Twitter the other night. I said, "Hey, what are these things, and what are they for?" And I've been advised that they look like Lego bricks, no doubt about it. And that's pretty much how they're used. They, depending on how many they bring down, determines what it is their purpose is. But most likely they're trying to basically reform that site down there in order to maybe create another surface so that they can put more foundation elements, because you can't put some of what they're doing on the slope of a hill. So they got to flatten it in areas, and they need those bricks. They'll stack up 100 of them, and they do connect, kind of like Lego bricks in a way. They're going to stack them up as what they call dirt retention, to fortify. You know, it's kind of like a retaining wall to fortify the dirt, to make sure it doesn't escape out into the work site. I hope I have that at least somewhat right. Here's a guy who's digging some kind of trench. And again, I'm going to take a stab at this. He's got a shovel in his hand right now. He's trying to scrape away stuff. And then he gets at it with a drill of some kind. He's breaking stuff apart inside there, and I think it's probably rock. They're trying to create a path here, but you can't. You need to clear all the rock and all the stuff that gets in the way of digging the trench. So he'll cut the rock a little bit and then scrape it out and then keep digging the hole. For whatever purpose, I don't know. You'll notice, by the way, that little the runoff trench that was there before has been filled up. The runoff trench is missing. This runoff trench, that was there, and now it's not. They've covered that up. So this is a whole new thing that they're working on here. The crane is back, bringing in 2 more of those. I only caught 4 of these being delivered. Again, how many they bring down there will determine what their purpose is. So far we have 4. I'm going to guess retaining wall. I think I have that right. If not, correct me. But I hope I did you guys proud. I hope I learned something. We'll go back to the main work site here. This is the launch area for the Fast and Furious coaster. That retaining wall was about 3/4 finished when we were here last. It now looks to be complete. And then on top of that will be all manner of foundation elements being installed for the launch of the coaster. And then the other structure on top of that is going to be the interior queue, my assumption. Close-up look. This is the work site to the right of the queue. You can see there's a foundation wall in the lower third of the frame now. Oh, I'm sorry, the retaining wall. And there's the queue. We'll go over to the escalators. This is the space to the left of the escalators as you look up at them, or to your right as you descend. And then this from the viewing area between the first and second escalator. And there's that foundation drill that we saw earlier. It's not digging at the moment. One more crane shot here before we go. The crane is, I think it just detached that hose from that concrete mixer down there. That guy right there. I think they had just detached it from there and they're placing it up on top of the hill. I'm going to take one more stab at this. That's the concrete they're going to be used, or that's the hose that they would use to fill the hole they just dug with the foundation drill and fill that up with concrete. But because this is the end of the day, they have detached the hose from the cement truck, and they're just going to leave it up there on the top of the hill. And then the cement truck, I don't think I show it, but at this point, the cement truck had driven away. That is our Fast and Furious coaster update today. Let me know. How'd I do? Incredible. It's just so much work being done on Fast and Furious right now. I can hardly believe it. Meanwhile, over here at Moulin Rouge, this is a VIP tour lounge area, I guess, that they're working on. And I was wondering what they might be doing, but it looks like they're just refurbing these windows right here. These are boarded up and covered, so they're probably, you can see where they've taken the trim off of, you know, around the windows. So they're either going to replace that trim or put something entirely new there. There's my new friend Dracula. And this is the first time that I've seen the walls down here at the Plaza in quite some time. You can see where they had stuff up. Walls up right there, rusted and everything. It's wide open. No, this is a big old space, you guys. This is a big old, I wish I had a long view of me in relation to the space I'm sitting in right now, but there's nothing happening here at Universal, or what do they call it? Universal Plaza? Is that what they call this? Nothing happening. It's just a giant, wide open, empty space. You could at least put tables out here, right? Looks like the Kung Fu Panda 3D 40 adventure has just let out. Standby is currently 15 minutes, so it's basically just one show, it sounds like. Donkey.
CCC. CC Rider.
Let's go to Hogsmeade's next. Now you know we're going to feel some folks here. We're going to feel the busyness in this land. There's a few projects going on here actually at Hogsmeade. 3 separate construction projects going on right now, although they're not affecting the guest experience too much. First of which being here at Honeyduke's, where the back half of the candy shop has been closed off. Conventional wisdom says they're building an ice cream shop. Well, I've been told that by a cast member. They're building an ice cream shop in here. I'm wondering if it's going to be Florian Fortescue related. I would expect them to make some kind of connection in that regard. And it's going to take that back half, or the back third, where the gift shop portion of the shop was, where they had all the, you know, the toys and stuff like that. They have one already at Universal Studios Orlando, a Florian Fortescue ice cream shop. So it would seem reasonable for them to do the same here. Our second construction project is right here where you would normally have the Tri-Winter Tournament show. This is walled up. I have no idea what they're doing here. It's not like it's a very complicated setup. It's just a stage, and then the rock formation there where the cast come out from backstage. Well, actually, they come on stage, they go backstage, then come back out on stage. But it's not much of a show there in terms of a set, just a stage and the rock. So not a complicated setup. And then actually right around the corner, I'm walking right by it as we speak. An ongoing project is new lockers being installed out here where the old Ford, the beat up Ford that was eaten by the tree was resting. They've taken out the tree and the Ford, and they're installing, or in the process of building, new lockers. Unknown if these new lockers are here to replace the existing lockers that are inside the castle proper, or if they are to supplement those lockers. I would probably err towards the side of supplement, because it is often the case it's very packed and very competitive to get a locker currently at Forbidden Journey, so I would think that they just need more lockers. You just walk through there and it was very cramped, very tight. If it's a busy day, it can be an intense scene in there. They are, though, still doing the meet and greet, the same meet and greet and photo opportunity that they do after the show is over. You can take your photo with either group here, so that's still happening. Very nice. As for Forbidden Journey, 50-minute standby right now, which is, that's pretty typical for Forbidden Journey on a busy, at least a busy-ish day. Back at the queue right now, I did check it, is at approximately the Mandrake, the greenhouse there. That's the same point that we encountered a few weeks ago when we rode, and that wound up being, I think, a 25 minute wait. That was around, 11 o'clock in the morning, I believe. Today we're getting close to 3 o'clock, so you're gonna have more. Oh yeah, it just turned 3, so good luck to those. Good luck to those folks in the standby now, because they're about to get met with additional Lightning Lane guests, as those with the Express Lane from their annual passes are going to get to use those right now. I would not recommend getting in this queue. Unless that's all you want to do. That's a conversation that we have often. Is how strict are these rules that I'm trying to establish? Not rules at all. But if you're looking for a go no go type situation, I would say 50 minutes at the Mandrake greenhouse for 3 o'clock. Probably not your best opportunity. Meanwhile, across the way, you've got Flight of the Hippogriff, posted at 25 minutes. Took a look at the back of the queue here. That's actually a longish queue from what I've encountered in my few attempts at Flight of the Hippogriffs. I'm seeing maybe 250 people in that queue. You figure another 50 while you're in that queue. You figure another 50 Lightning Lane guests will come through, Express Lane guests will come through here. The total of 300. 33 guests per ride vehicle. There's 11 cars, 2 guests per, and they cycle at about a 1 minute interval. There's a train constantly on the track. As soon as one arrives, the next one is leaving. So they cycle about every minute, which means that's about right on, about 27 minutes for standby in that case. And then, of course, you have what's on the street, and that is a very busy Hogsmeade right now. I've seen worse, obviously, but this is a pretty busy day, in my opinion. It's supporting the 50-minute standby and the 25-minute standby for Forbidden Journey and Flight of the Hippogriffs, respectively. Short wait, though, to get a butterbeer. That's like 6 guests, maybe. That's not very common. Usually it takes a little while to get a butterbeer here at Hogsmeade on a busy-ish day. But for now, that's our trip to Hogsmeade. We'll hustle on out of here. That's always fun. That's like from the Universal press kit right there. We'll head out of Hogsmeade, make a right, and go check out the tram tour, the backlot tram tour, see how that's going. Oh wow, look at that, Krusty. I've never seen Krusty out before. Wow. He's my favorite Simpsons character. Now look at that, the studio tour. The sign indicates 10 minutes. Last departure at 5:15. That's not long from now. That's in a little more than an hour and a half. 10 minutes though. I need to see that to believe it. Maybe it's not busy. Maybe this is a medium busy day at Universal Studios Hollywood. That's the whole point of coming to this park, more often these days, is to try to get a better understanding of that. I want to know what a 10-minute queue looks like. Now, there's no way, it's very difficult, I should say, very difficult to do a proper analysis of the wait time. Okay, so I see 1, 2, 3 full sections. That's not very many. It has often been the case where I've seen all of this. Well, sometimes I look at this queue and I'm like, how is it possible that this queue could be as full as it is? But yeah, it's well empty back here. Let's put 10 minutes in right now. Let's watch this queue and see what we can learn. Tell you what, standby is cruising so far. They're going to beat maybe even that 10 minutes, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's very little express lane happening right now, which is also surprising considering it's after 3 o'clock. I would have expected a little bit more, but that's an empty express lane over there. And, I mean, this queue is just breezing. I don't think I've ever seen standby move this briskly at the studio tour. It's 3:42 presently, and the groups that we're watching got in the queue at about 5 minutes ago. No, 6 minutes ago, and they're going to get on their bus, their tram, in about a minute. 7 minutes it's going to take. Is that right? No, now it's nine minutes. I'm looking at my times right now. Yeah, they're at their vehicle in 9 minutes. Now, I didn't just come down here to check out the queue, check out the wait time. I also rode early this morning actually, and there is a lot to talk about what's going on in the studio tour. It's very different than what we've seen in recent times. There are some big changes happening. All right, we're going to do this in voiceover because I didn't want to be obnoxious while everybody was trying to enjoy the tram ride. Nothing more, you got to keep a very low register when you're speaking on those things. But we'll begin at the bottom of the hill as we approach the escalators, and we're getting a ground-up view of the Fast and Furious construction site. I'm really hoping that we get something besides dirt and plants here when it's done, but that's what we're having so far. This looks like new development. They're clearing more land here. They just recently cut those trees. How far down is this, or is this maybe not ride related? I'm not sure, but I wasn't expecting the tree clearing to come all the way this far. As for the tour itself, it skipped almost all of the, the downtown, the city section, the New York City street section. Most likely filming going on right now, which is, this is right here. This is basically all we saw was just this little street. And all we saw was this outdoor set being constructed. So I have a feeling they're doing a lot of filming here right now. The tour also skipped all of Little Europe. That's the scenes where they tell you that they filmed Frankenstein, etc. Driver confirmed there is filming going on there as well. Tour skips all of the Bates Motel and the Psycho House. If I'm not mistaken, that's the hotel right there. And I've seen photos where it looks like they're actually rebuilding parts of the hotel. Also skipped War of the Worlds. This road that we're on right now is to the right and down the hill from the usual tram route. And normally that you would see fake house facades on your right, as opposed to being able to see down the road. But today we can see clean through into the plane wreckage. Those facades, I believe, are also being replaced. And then way back there in the distance is the Psycho House. Actually, let's pause here because I did also get some shots from the parking structure. Psycho House on the left, War of the Worlds wreckage site in the middle of the frame there. And where those trams are in frame is the road that we're on now. The fake houses should be right about here. Look behind the wreckage and you can see where there are a lot of construction crews active. Dirt road behind the site, running in front of the big Great Outdoors cabin, which, by the way, that hasn't been part of the tour in forever, it seems like. But it looks like they're creating a road or a path that's connecting the Bates Motel and Psycho House to the War of the Worlds exit. An alternate road, as a, because there already is one, the regular tram route. But behind the wreckage now, they're building a road of some kind, a path. For what purpose? I don't know. But I believe it's going to be guest-facing, show-related. That's what I think. Here we've got an excavator digging up the site as we speak. And there that path looks to go all the way back to where those white trucks are, where there is even more demo work going on. So the rumor is they're building some kind of experience at this point in the tour where guests will get out and walk. Very much like the Halloween Horror Nights experience, where you deboard where they show the vehicles. You would go around the corner behind the Bates Motel. They would do a little show for you at the Bates Motel, and then you would pass through the World of Worlds site, but it's actually something else that they've constructed. So it's very reminiscent of that path that they do, but it's going to be more, I guess. I don't know. They felt the need to build a path here. This is just a rumor. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But an even better question is why are they doing it? I feel like that's a good question. The tram tour typically is already an hour. Why do they feel the need to make it longer? Because getting out and walking around would make the show longer by maybe 15 minutes or more. I would expect it's similar to the if it's anything like the Halloween Horror Nights walkthrough experience. Speculation is that it's because they're going to be shortening the tour for some reason, or that possibly permanently, which is a whole other conversation, perhaps for another video. I got to research that a little bit more, but for now, it's assumed they're trying to do something, perhaps for the 60th anniversary of the tour, which is going to be happening in the spring, which would explain some of the other work that they're doing, which we're going to get to in a second. But for now, we're getting a significantly reduced tour. Limited city sets, no Little Europe, no Bates Motel, no Psycho House, no War of the Worlds. Oh, and let's not forget, we also haven't had the Earthquake set for a while, and still won't for a little bit, but that is expected to return in the spring. And I think the tram driver on this tour said at this point at the War of the Worlds record site that that'll be done also in about 2 months. So we're looking at spring for a whole new experience on the tram. But then again, if it's going to be done in 2 months, that tells me that this is not a super big deal, because how much can you actually do in a couple of months based on what we're seeing today? Just the path? And then you bring in some prefab stuff, maybe some ODV carts, or I don't know. I'm not sure what you could do show related in just a couple of months besides create a new path back there. We'll get back to the tour. And now we can see a ground level view of that area that we saw the excavator digging a hole. And then one last stop at Fast and Furious Supercharged. Not to see the 12 people dancing in single file. No, this time we didn't get to see that at all. We had a breakdown. So here's a lights on experience at Fast and Furious. And we drive straight through. I had no idea. That's a practical set. The set where I didn't know, for whatever reason, I just thought the whole thing was projection. That's a practical set. Oh, and one more stop, I'm sorry. The restrooms are back open again. The restrooms have been under construction for a while. There's still construction walls up for other reasons, but the restrooms are back open. Check out our Theme Park POV Pros channel for the full ride through. I'm going to put the full ride through up on this one because there's a lot more than what we just talked about, on that tram tour. Interesting times. I'm looking forward to seeing how this develops because there's a lot of potential here. I may be doing a separate video talking about not just what's going on now, but what could be happening in the, I don't know if I want to say near future, the possible future. Go to the Simpsons ride. I'm gonna have to. I almost did it before. We rode Minions Mayhem today, which I feel like is pretty close to the experience that you have on the Simpsons ride. I don't know, man. Currently it's at 35 minutes standby. I have no idea if that's accurate or not. I checked the back of the queue. The back of the queue is in there somewhere. I don't know. Meanwhile, Krusty Burger. This isn't too bad. It's a very light crowd for Krusty Burger in here, from my experience. Same for Moe's, home of the Flaming Moe, I think. I've never been in here. But this doesn't look like it would be a very long wait to get a drink here, like the Flaming Moe. Same again for Cletus's Chicken Shack, practically empty in here. Maybe 8 or 9 guests. By the way, is that a chicken waffle sandwich? Like the kind you get at Brucey in Orange? I think it is, though I highly doubt it's going to be as good as a Brucey chicken and waffle sandwich, which are amazing. Been there often, but now I'm curious. That just moved to the top of my list of things I need to try soon. Now, before we leave Simpsons Town, it reminds me of a story. The very first time I ever came to Universal Studios Hollywood, the first attraction we did was, it was Kung Fu Panda, but back then it was Shrek. Same experience, but different IP. I thought it was terrible. I remember going, what is this? What am I watching? And then the next ride we did was the Simpsons ride. I'm like, I'm never coming back to Universal Studios again. My first 2 attractions. And then I think my third one might have been Transformers. So Universal has had an uphill climb for me in terms of my acceptance and getting there, which it has happening. I'm even becoming, I kind of like Transformers now, kind of. I mean, it still doesn't make any sense to me, but it's the fact that they have Bumblebee and Megatron and Optimus Prime out there meeting guests, and it makes me, want to participate in the Transformers, universe a little more. So that's making the attraction a little more enjoyable for me. As you can see, we're heading next to the lower line. Wow. Okay, things have picked up a little bit down here at the lower lot. This is a nice crowd. But 35 minutes though, for Jurassic World? Wow, that's kind of incredible. That's kind of surprising. 35 minutes. Let's go investigate, find the back of the queue, see what's up. It's kind of an excruciating queue standby at Jurassic World, in my opinion. It's repetitive, it's the same thing over and over. Switchback. Very little character, the same loop up there on the screens. And then you've got the interference from Express Lane, who come down here often. I keep walking because I want to see how much this is not being used. I've had many occasions where I've come down here to check on Jurassic World and the queue is all the way back here into what I call the wedding reception tent. Expected mothers are advised not to experience this attraction, and we ask that all visitors. This is where you have your wedding parties and/or extended queue for Jurassic Park. I've seen this queue full, and that means this queue's full, and this queue's full, and that queue's full. So 35 minutes is probably likely. But look at the flow of guests coming in. That queue is about to grow, I bet. You know what? I'm going to come back here in 35 minutes and see what shape the Jurassic World queue is. For now, we'll drive by the Mummy next. Temporarily closed. Well, that's too bad. I hear the Mummy come up often in rumors about expansions happening or updates happening at Universal Studios. That's an attraction that is up for change, as it were. You know, it's not a protected ride per se. And that kind of makes me sad because, you know, for a park that's so full of screen rides, that's dominated by screen rides, that's one less actual roller coaster that you would have, and it would be very, very missed. Definitely. Oh, look, Megatron.
What? Say it loud so that everyone can hear. Did you hear, everyone? This small child has more brains than the rest of you combined. He said, you are better than Optimus Prime. Clearly I am. That is why I defeated him on Cybertron and he retreated here. You think so? And yet here I stand before you. What's wrong with your face? I got shot in battle. What's your excuse? I loathe you. Useless little bags of meat.
Megatron is savage. That guy is savage. How's Transformers doing? Looks like it's doing 45 minutes, so that's surprising that it's a longer wait. Transformers is at 45 minutes than Jurassic World. I don't know that I'm going to go in there and look for the back of the queue, though. I'm just going to take your word for it. This feels much like it did last time we were through here, although this is the second time I've been at Super Nintendo World today. It was actually busier earlier today at around, I want to say 9:30, 10 a.m. Much busier, considerably more busy than it is right now, which is very interesting. I suppose that could be because the day is winding down, although no, the park is staying open late tonight. Oh, look at that. The sign says temporarily closed, but there is just a bunch of guests flowing in. Did everybody get the word that the attraction is back open again? I feel like they did. That seems like a great idea to get in there, right? But look up there. I don't know if this is coming through or not. There's a bunch of guests out there in front of Bowser's Castle that have probably been standing there for a while. This happened to us earlier today. The ride went down earlier today when we rode, and we had VIP because I was with Getaway, and we were walking by, and they were just parked out there, but there were so many guests just standing there waiting. They don't, generally speaking, leave. It's been my experience that when the ride breaks down, once you're at least halfway through, maybe even less than that, I would say as long as you're at least in that iridescent room, if the ride breaks down, you're staying in the queue. I think people only evacuate when they're in that exterior portion. So it's actually not a great bargain, in my opinion. I turned around, I wanted to see if they had posted a wait time because all those guests were going in. And post breakdown, it posted at 90 minutes. That's wild. So you're not going to get much of a bargain post breakdown here at Bowser's Challenge. But okay, so is this mini game down? It looks like it's down. I see no way to get into this mini game because there's nobody in there. I was wondering. This one says 15 minutes. That's actually kind of light, although seeing the queue stick out here like that is not very welcoming. This is a mini game where it is often the queue is out here into this walkway right now where I'm standing. It is often the case. I don't see a posted wait time here. Do they post these? I don't know. Yeah, it looks like there's not much. I think that's the whole queue right there. That's it. That's all of it. And another lighter than typical queue here. The Piranha Plant minigame looks to have, I don't know, a slightly less than typical queue out here. That's probably 15 or 20 minutes as well. Same for the Goomba minigame. Not a lot of action here, or less than usual. Crowd is light here at Super Nintendo World, but you still gotta wait for Bowser's Challenge. Came back to Jurassic World as promised, and I did note that the back of the queue that I marked earlier was done in 21 minutes, and it looks like they have processed all of this queue back here as well. So the queue was shortened. They were ready for it to go here. They want you to go in there, but they're clearing that queue out. So good work at Jurassic World. It could be that the day is starting to wind down a little bit, which is different than what you often find at Disneyland, where it is often the case that the crowds get busier at the end of the night because the after-work crowds are coming in. This is usually season pass holders. It's not like it used to be, though, I'll say that. You're getting more of a discount in the evening at Disneyland these days than you used to, because people are staying longer. They're getting to the park earlier. They're staying longer. They're trying to get more value out of their day because of the reservation system and the price of tickets and all that. So they're wearing out earlier than they used to, whereas back in the day, annual pass holders used to be able to just show up at 6 o'clock and hang out until 10 or 11 or whatever. You don't see that as much anymore because it's harder to get that spontaneous reservation. And it also looks like, since we were messing around in the rest of the lower lot, that the Mummy has reopened and it's at 25 minutes.
Show Mommy what you want to show.
And that's our State of Universal report. What a day we had today, guys. And I didn't even show you half of it. I've been here since rope drop. I rope dropped this son of a gun. It didn't even start shooting this show until 2 p.m. It's been an afternoon. And I'm very grateful to GetAwayToday for hosting us for the morning episode of the morning session. And then we get to wrap our show today. Great afternoon, man. It was fun. Had a great time shooting this. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I've got another long day ahead of me tomorrow now that I mention it. Rope dropping again, Disneyland tomorrow. Construction report in the morning. And then State of DCA report in the afternoon. Putting in another 9 or 10 hour day there as well. Stay tuned for that. I'm gonna go home now and sleep. But I appreciate you guys watching. I thank you very much. If you like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. You can also follow us on Instagram at _freshbaked, on Twitter at freshbakedisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at freshbakedisney. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.